early. Okay, welcome everyone. This is Jim Sporer with the University of Washington Tacoma MSBA team. And we were just going over that these first few weeks, the assignment is just to get comfortable with these tools here, having your multiple tabs open for your AI digital worker and working on getting the white paper, drafts of the white paper from your workers. And I put an example of that into the Slack, but I'm going to cover it a little bit more. And one thing that I want you to do, in addition to using your AI digital workers, I want you also to consider what kind of questions you want to ask me. And I want to see if one of you, probably one of you, maybe Meg or Dia, asked me a question. Because if I go to my email, I saw a question, answers from me. And I'm just curious if it was one of you. It says, I'm drafting
Oh,
the
I
white.
did.
Okay, good, Meg. I thought it might be you. I'm drafting the white paper of student CEOs in the AI era, a service system innovation model for improving academic industry collaboration by using different AI tools like Gemini, Claude, Copilot, GPT, and got drafts of the white paper. What steps should I go further? And my twin gave an answer. And this is an okay answer, but it's not the answer Jim Reel would have given. So I've got to go in and update this. And I'm going to show you today um, uh, what I think you should do next. But let's first review what the twin said, because it's not terrible. It's just not what I would have said. It says, to advance your white paper, student CEOs in the AI era, consider the following steps. Review and refine content. That's actually a pretty good advice, because the AI tools, you have to go kind of section by section to improve it. Incorporate expert insights. Again, this is good advice, but which experts, you might ask. And structure and flow. You don't really have to worry too much about structure and flow, because I've kind of given you the structure and flow that ISSIP wants. So this one wasn't so good. Visual aids and data sets. Again, this is sort of okay, but not great. But I want to show you things that you can do to make the white paper better today. And again, we really haven't started yet officially, the sprints and everything. So don't worry that you're falling behind, because we've got plenty of time in these next 2 quarters. But I want you to just get practice managing your AI digital twins. And there's a paper that I put into the Slack that I want you all to look at, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay. So this is an even more elaborated white paper template right here. And one of the things that you'll see, it says the ISSIP mentor are encouraged to answer student questions during these 30-minute meetings on the ISSIP Slack channel. So put questions in there, and using an AI digital twin. That's my Jim twin. So hopefully all of you will get some experience asking my twin questions. But this document right here is an even bigger document. There's more to it. So this could be you could put this into each of your digital workers and say, take that document and write a first draft of the white paper for me. But first, is the task clear? Do you have any questions for me? And what I'm hoping you'll see in this version, this more elaborated version, is how you start tuning things for you as an individual. Okay? Because if you're all doing the same thing and you got the same prompt, the results will probably be, not exactly similar, but similar. So how do you start making your AI digital workers do stuff, but tuning it to who you are. So one thing you could do is you could write a bio of yourself and put that into the prompt too, and say, and make sure it's relevant to me and my career goals. And that would bias it towards creating a white paper that's more aligned with who you are and what your interests are. Like, for example, if you knew someday I want to retire, someday I want to be living in Colorado, and I want to be using my data science skills to help animals, pets. You could put that into your prompt and say, tune the white paper to be directed towards my long-term goals and who I am. That's one way to start tuning it towards who you are. But if you look at this white paper template here, there's a lot more to it. I want to show you how you can improve the references section today. Okay, so the references section is if you read something about student CEOs using AI to create startups, or people using, or faculty using AI to create startups, that could be a good reference for this white paper. So let me give you an example of one that I read recently that I thought was pretty good. I'll give you an example of a couple of them actually, but this one right here is was pretty good. Okay, Claude Code and what comes next. With the right tools, AI can accomplish impressive things. And this is Ethan Mollick. He's a professor at University of Pennsylvania. He says, I opened Claude Code and gave it the command, develop a web-based or software-based startup idea that will make me $1,000 a month, where you do all the work by generating the idea and implementing it. And I shouldn't have to do anything at all except run some program you give me once. It shouldn't require any coding knowledge on my part, so make sure everything works well. And if you read this, he was pretty impressed with it, okay? But if we go back to the white paper, I think that almost the same day, or like a week later, Gary Marcus wrote a paper that I think would be good to reference in the white paper as well. And let's go out and look at Gary Marcus's. Let's be honest, generative AI isn't going all that well. And he's like negative on these AI helpers don't really work. And he cites some stuff and problems and things like that. Now, I like both of these papers, but I want to make sure when my AI workers are working on my final white paper, I want to make sure they're including information about these papers. So what I've done is I put these two papers into a PDF file, and what I can do now is go out to my digital worker and give it the assignment of creating a one paragraph annotated bibliographic summary of these papers. And so let me show you how I do that. All right. And this is just that one section of the white paper, the references section. So now I go to my first AI digital worker. Let's see here. And I might only do it for one just because of time, and we've got to end a little early. But let's start with ChatGPT, and eventually I would do it for all of these. And I'm going to say, please create an annotated reference for these two papers, just one paragraph summaries that I can add to my white paper. Okay. And now I'm going to, let's see, add the file. Okay, so biblio. I just go out to my thing and find it. Okay, 2026. I have a way of finding my files. Okay, so there's the Ethan Mullick one. He's the Optimus, so I select that one and I upload it. And then I go, I want to add the other one. So I add photos. And again, it's Biblio M 2026. Okay. Oops. This Mac. Now let's put the Gary Marcus one in here, upload it. And first is the task clear. Any questions for me? And maybe I'll do two. So I put that guy to work, and now I go over here to Claude, put the same exact prompt in, and usually I have a text file that I put the prompts in, but let's see here, and I got to upload the two files. I should have the files in a handier place too, but I don't. There's the Ethan Mullick one, and now let's add the Gary Marcus one. Okay, so there's two papers that we want to reference in our white paper because they're very relevant papers to, are these AI workers that you are learning to manage, are they good or not? And Ethan Mullick says they're impressive and Gary Marcus says they're not impressive. So you get a nice balance there. So let's put the Gary Marcus one there. And now we do that. Now we go back to this one and it says, yes, this task is clear. You want two one-paragraph annotated references, concise summaries suitable for inclusion in your white paper, one for each of the two papers you uploaded. Before I proceed, just a couple quick checks to make sure I align them perfectly with your white paper. Tone and stance. Should the summaries be neutral or academic? Okay, well, I want them to be academic. Citation style. Do you prefer any specific citation style? I'll just say APA. Length, 120 to 150 words or tighter. 150 words is fine. All right. So now I've answered the questions and it's gone to work. Now let's go over here and check this one though before we look at that response. It says, yes, the task is clear. You'd like me to create one paragraph annotated reference summaries for these two articles that you can include in your white paper. Just a couple of things to clarify. What is the focus topic of your white paper? This may help me emphasize the aspects of the article that are relevant. Okay, so we can upload the draft of the white paper. What citation style? Tone preference, academic or neutral, any specific aspects of either article you want to emphasize or downplay. Here is the draft white paper. So you can see Claude asked more detailed questions, right? So now I've got to add the file for the white paper. And let me go over here to downloads and okay, and we'll put this initial draft of the white paper in there because it's because it asked, you know. And, you know, maybe it's going to be a better digital worker because it asked that question, or maybe it's not going to be a better digital worker. And we'll say APA style, and we'll say academic, tone, and any specific things that be balanced. Okay. Now we go back here, and boom, here is our two references. Now what we can do is just take these now and go back to our our draft white paper, obviously we want to read them, but let's go back here and put them into the white paper. Okay, so, I'll clean up the formatting later, but I'm just going to put that in there. Actually, better than putting it in this section right away, it's better to go down to your appendices. And I think I'm on this is where I usually put all my AI generated stuff in Appendix B. So I'm going to say B3 references. And I'll have OpenAI, ChatGPT, today's date. It's always good to put the date you ran stuff. And boom, that's the two references there. And then I've got Claude coming, right? So I can say Claude, Anthropic Claude. 2026, 01, 15. Okay, so now we go back to Claude. Claude, where are you? Oh, that's Word. So we go back here, and now we go to Claude, and here's the drafts. Perfect. Now I have the full context. Here's the balanced academic ones. Now I still have to read all of these, right? So, if I just cut and paste those into the document and don't read them, it's like having my robot go to the gym. I'm not getting any exercise. It's not helping me in any way. And when you learn to manage these AI digital workers, you have to learn how to evaluate the quality of the job they did. So if we read this one, I'm a pretty fast reader. I'm not going to read it out loud. So the key thing is he demonstrates how these systems can complete hour-long programming tasks independently, create functional websites, and utilize sophisticated strategies as context window, compacting, skill swapping, and subagent, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so kind of gets the right idea. Marcus provides a critical assessment of generative AI. Okay. Marcus argues that orienting economic and geopolitical policies. Okay, so I would say those are okay. I'm not impressed with either of them. Let me look at this one. This one's a little better, I think. Okay. Well, that's what I want. I'll upload this recording, and I'll upload the new document that I've created here, this template document, so that you can see that. But what I would do as a next step, if I had time today, and I don't, is I would take the response that I got from Claude and give it to ChatGPT and say, please evaluate this worker's work and give me three things, three strengths, what they did well, and three things where there's areas for improvement. And I would do the same thing with Claude. I'd give Claude the ChatGPT one and ask the same question. And that's how you can be a manager of digital workers. You start using your digital workers to evaluate each other's work and give you feedback. And that's how you start developing these capabilities to be a good CEO of digital workers. Now, I just want to end with one thing. So this Appendix B in this paper, when you look at it, is where all of the AI results are. Appendix A talks about prompts and stuff like that, and the overall goal of the white paper. And then there's a structure of the white paper at the very top. But what I want you to be thinking about as you practice using your AI digital workers, getting them to evaluate each other's work, focusing on different sections of the white paper. try to be in the role of a student CEO. And again, read some of the other material that I've sent you already and think about it, because ultimately you want to come up with a great idea for a startup. And if I had a little bit more time today, I would show you a little bit more. Maybe I can show you it next week about how I use these tools to evaluate each other. But definitely keep strengthening your muscles of giving the same prompt to all your digital workers, comparing the results, deciding which one you like best, and then incorporating those into your version of the draft white paper. So you can take this paper right here that I've created and create your version of it that you start working with. And hopefully, in addition to just talking to me on these weekly 30-minute calls, hopefully you start talking to each other. I don't know if you have a class time where all of you are in the same room, but it's really important for you to start sharing ideas with each other as well. So let me just ask if there's any questions before I stop today. I will post the recording and this document, but is it clear that you need to start practicing managing your AI agents? Is that clear? Okay. I see
Yes.
Deep nodding. Okay. So just,
So would you say the task for us before the next week is to have one of these drafts handy before our call that we run by multiple AI
yeah,
workers? Oh,
yeah.
okay,
And any questions you have, like,
okay,
look it over, look at the schedule that Meg created, although that we'll modify that and push it out a little bit. The first few weeks should just be exercise your AI digital workers, exercise your AI digital workers, get comfortable exercising your AI digital workers. So we'll probably do that for 3 or 4 more weeks. But once you're comfortable with your AI digital workers and you can see the big picture, you can kind of see how your white paper is coming together, then we'll define the agile sprints for the 10 weeks of really focused student CEO work to get the offering created. But just
okay,
practice for now and ask questions. Practice and ask questions of Jim Twin. All right.
okay. Mhm.
All right. I'm going to stop because I got to jump to my next call. But thank you all. Bye for now. Put questions in
Thank
the,
you.
you have them. Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Bye now.